Hello, welcome to Pilgrims Therapy Centre, Time to Create. My name's Kathleen Steele and I'm a wellbeing practitioner here. Today I'm going to show you how to make paper flowers from simple different kinds of paper that you may have at home. I've got some here that I've already made. It's a big sort of rose type one made from tissue paper. You might have some left over from Christmas. This is some white paper I found in the cupboard. I actually don't know what it is, but it's quite impressive, isn't it? This one was made from Kleenex, and they make lovely, delicate little flowers. Pretty enough. I've just tipped them with watercolours, but you could use food colouring or felt tips, anything that might leak in to the fabric, or rather the tissue. And these were made from paper hand towels, this one as well, so they do look rather pretty. So now I just want to show you a couple of examples of where you could use your lovely paper flowers to decorate your home, but you can just do anything you want with them. They might even look nice as a garland around your conservatory or anywhere in your home. As you can see, we've got one on a picture frame behind me. We put this little tissue one on this frame here. That's a nice flower pot. That looks quite dainty. That's on a cupboard somewhere. And a slightly bigger one, perhaps for a table or a sideboard. Like a water lily, doesn't it? And then we have this lovely decoration here that was actually made by one of our patients. And she made some of these, were made actually of toilet paper, all sorts of bits and pieces that she found. So now we've seen the beautiful paper flowers, we're going to make our own. We don't need very much equipment. We need our pieces of paper. Today I've chosen a Kleenex tissues, but you can use your coloured paper or your paper towels, or anything that you find that's nice that you can pull out like this. I've got 6 layers, so I've got 6 layers of petals, and I've cut a slightly smaller one, and that's going to be the centre of the flower. It's slightly smaller. I didn't need to cut these tissues. I felt these were the right size to make a small flower. However, if you need to, or want to indeed make a bigger one, you might find you need a ruler, and you're looking at something like perhaps 9 inches by 9 inches that way, by say 5 inches that way, or maybe a little bigger. It's really up to you. So you'll also need a pair of scissors. You'll need something to tie them together with, when you'll see what I mean as we progress through. I've got some fishing wire here, but some cotton would be equally as good, or pipe cleaners. And if you use pipe cleaners, you'll also have a stem for your flower. We're going to paint the tips in this demonstration, so we can use felt tips pens or a couple of brushes with some water and some watercolours. Okay, so I just put them to the side. We're ready with our paper. It's more or less lined up. We don't need to be absolutely precise, but as much as you can. So we're going to start folding. So the first fold is just up to the edge of our inside petals. As you can see, it's a little bit rough there as the tissues have been folded in the box, but it'll be okay. And then we turn it over, and you will see that it's a concertina fold. We just check. Every time we're going to fold it over like that. Press it down, it's quite fluffy, so we need to press each fold down. Again, we don't have to be absolutely precise, but as much as we can. There. Press down as much as we can. At this point, I like to fold it in half, like that, just to get a little bit of a crease. Push it down hard. There. Now we need to open it up and take our middle petals out. Put them to one side for one moment. Get your big petals, and we're just going to cut the shape of our petals. Just literally however you want them to be. They could be more rounded or more pointed or a deeper shape, or just the very tips can be cut. Whichever you choose, it's your choice. I think let's just go into that a little more. Make it a more natural shape. You can see it's not difficult because the tissue is nice and soft. Then we need to do the same with our inner petals. Just gently cutting a nice flower shape. Pushing little pieces out of your way. There. Now we need to insert this back inside as much as we can as to where it was. And then we can go back to our fold in the middle, like that. And now we're going to tie it together in the middle with our twine or cotton or pipe cleaner, whichever we've chosen. Cut that off. Little bit tricky here, holding it all together, but you find it doesn't have to be particularly tight. It all stays together quite well. And if you pull it too tight, I found it's actually quite hard to pull the petals out. There. And that's all you need to do. Now we're just going to gently have a little look and find our inner petals before we start. So there they are. So we'll start with one side. Just pull it out slightly. And then we need to be a little bit careful, but it's fine. It doesn't mind being pulled, and if you were to tear it a little bit, you'll find that it won't show, and it doesn't matter. And just gently teasing out each layer. You'll also see, because in this case we've chosen tissues, so each tissue actually has a double layer, man-sized tissues. So you can actually even pull them out a little bit like that if you want to. Just gently, gently teasing every layer of tissue out. And just see how it goes, whether you want to separate the layers out or not. It actually looks quite nice, doesn't it, if we can. Just pull some of them out and see. And then we'll just finish this side, and then what we'll do is we'll need to, so we've done half, so we're just going to pull this out, and now we're going to start the other side. So now I'm working on the other side. I'm getting the little inner part of the flower first, the little tiny petals. They don't actually look much here, but by the time you've pulled it all out and made your flower, it does make a bit of a difference in the middle. Gosh, I've got lots of layers of tissue here. It doesn't really matter how it pulls out. I might pull that one out just a little here and here. And at this point I want to have a little look at it and see how I'm doing. So it doesn't look bad, does it? Nice little flower. Pull that one up a bit there and maybe separate that one slightly. It's up to you, it's how you want your flower to look. So we've separated quite a lot, teased all the tissue out. That's not bad, is it? So now I've decided to decorate the tips of this flower, and I'm going to use some watercolour. There we are, just on the tips. And what I found was if I wet the tips just slightly, it bleeds into the tissue and it makes it look a little bit more realistic. But we don't want to make it too wet so it disintegrates. So let's have a go and see how we go. So I'm dipping a brush just into water, and we'll just start with a few of the inner petals, very tiny ones at the front. It's quite hard to see. Let's see how we're doing. We'll see how we're doing once we put the colour on. So now I've got a brush with some watercolour on it, and we're just going to touch it, and there we go. It's just bleeding gently into the tissue, all the lovely colour. And we're just going to keep going with the entire flower. And I think I might just do, see the very centre there, we'll make that a bit damp. And we put a few spots of colour just in the middle there. And now we carry on with our next layer, and so on and so on, round and round and round, until we've finished our whole flower and we're happy with it. So there we are, just finished the last of the petals, and that's our beautiful paper flower.